Hello and welcome to the first dev diary for. I'll just edit that part out. Hello and welcome to the first dev diary for the hit game Hearse Hero, programmed in Godot 4. You play as Heinrich, the enigmatic hearse driver. You can see me driving a hearse here. You can drive forwards, left, right, and backwards. You can even drive around in circles. You can also do a handbrake turn, but I think I broke that recently. No, it's still working. There's just one frame of. Anyway. So, what's Hearse Hero about? Basically, you drive a hearse, and the plan is that you run people over with your hearse because the business is bad, so you're trying to speed up business. So here's a guy here. You can see he's just like sort of idly looking up at the sky, doing that happy little jog there. So we're just going to run him over, and bam, and then yeah. So we've got a new coffin now, and now we need to go to the grave site. You see, you've got this green arrow above the car telling you where the nearest grave site is. This one's in the middle of a road. Obviously, I'm still developing the game, right? And then you've got to approach the gravesite from the right way, and you see the coffin goes back out, and then it points you to the next closest target. So there's one over on the right of the screen. I don't know why I'm pointing. You can't see that. But as I get closer to this one, you see the arrow changes to this one, right? So I'm going to run her over, and bam, got her. You see the car sort of like there's an impact there where you hit her. And then here you go. This one looks a bit more like a graveyard. So we're going to drop it off, but I'm not approaching it from the right way. So that's the general premise of the game. There will be a timer. The timer will count down, and as you run people over, you'll get more time. The levels will be split into levels, right? So it's not like a free roam thing. There'll be levels, and you got to run over a certain amount of people in a given time. Then that level's complete. You see that there's also like civilians, so these people don't have health insurance, and therefore there's no point running them over because you won't be able to have a funeral and make some money for yourself. So you see that as we get close, they start running away, and if we go fast, they run away more, and we can start running these people over here, and you can just kill them if you want. So look, they're all starting to run away there. You see there are ambient cars. Bam, got him. And yeah, you can see that you can also destroy the scenery. So here we go. We're just donking some trees there. I really don't want to fall off the edge of the map. That would be really embarrassing. So for some reason, my FPS is really low. I think it's probably because I'm recording. So yeah, you see that there's lots of props such as these coffee cups. You can hit the coffee cups. I wasn't really sure how much dev kind of knowledge to put in this, but this was all a lot of work. You could just trust me on that. Each object in the game has a collision shape, which I had to make personally. So there's a target there. You see this guy behind the bus stop there, and then we can. Oh, okay, so I killed him. But what I really wanted to do was to push the bus stop into him there. So that was my mistake. I'm just wondering. Usually, I get literally double the FPS. I think something is clearly wrong. Let's check the output. No, I'm not sure what's going on there. It really might be because of the recording. Um, so yeah, we're FPSing. Anyway, so you run people over, right? And the point I wanted to make was that you can push things into people. So this lamppost, for example, we can like flatten it, and you see it smacked all those people there. And oh, you see that they sort of bumped into that lamppost and died there. You can do all sorts, right? So how do I? What can I? So okay, so we've got this giant noodle box, and we're gonna try and push the giant noodle box into somebody. Um, so okay, well, yeah, we're struggling a little bit, but you just trust me, you can do it. So there's also so like random cars that drive along the street. That one went under us there, but this game's still in development, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. You see this guy is dynamically fleeing away from me. Ignore the part where he just runs over the ocean there. That was yeah, just ignore that part. Man, why is my FPS so low? I don't understand what's going on here. What did I change? Hmm. Anyway, so there's also cars that chase you, like police cars that actually chase you. So this is an example of a police car, And what we're going to do is just put the engine power back up to what it was before, 2,500. And you can see that...
I like money.
Tarak Buasida subscribed to the channel.
Thank you for subscribing, Tarak Buasida. But you see that the police cars here are actually trying to stop me here. You can see them, trying to smack themselves into me. And yeah, if they push you into the corner, obviously it's not going well for you. So yeah, the police try and stop you. You can push the police can push you. The police collide with props and stuff. I want to show you that. Bam! We pushed him straight into those. Yeah, we're gonna push him off the edge of the map. Got him. Obviously, in the complete level, there won't just be random holes in the map. But yeah, I'm not sure what kind of level to pitch this to in terms of... So unfortunately, I made the ocean too high, and you can drive along the ocean, but we can fix that just by running everybody over here. You can see there's lots of different types of people, all sorts of different types of people, and I can set paths for them to walk on. I've just set them in a circle, but you know, it would be in the final game, they'll be walking up and down the city. I'd like to show you the city, so let's go to the city. The city, basically, the graphics have been purchased, so we'll talk more about that later and how you can help development. You see my FPS is about 4 times higher here, so I'm really not sure what was happening in that other scene. But yeah, this is sort of what I want the city to look like, or the levels will be this kind of level of detail. So in the test map, which is what you just saw, you can hit any lamppost or anything like that, and it will fly around, it'll be destroyed. Whereas here they're just static objects, so you know there's still a lot of work left to do. And obviously I need to add buildings and stuff. You can see there's rain, right? But the general idea is you run people over and you take them to a graveyard space, and you have to do that in a given time, and the police cars try and stop you by smacking themselves into you. And that's what it's all about. So let's talk about the assets. So I wanted to thank you all. Basically, I've had to spend some money on this, right? These characters, for example, they haven't been made by me because that would take absolutely ages. So if we just here we go. So you know he's chilling out there. He's having a good time, etc. And there's lots of different animations, right? This is the runaway animation where they run away. So yeah, thank you for your generous support, the generous channel joiners. Basically, I have spent some money on this project. I bought a Udemy course and a game dev TV course for about 30 something pounds. And I bought 3 books. One of them was bad, but I didn't get a chance to return it, so sort of failed purchase there. But I spent about £68 on books, and £84 on models and sounds. So the sounds obviously aren't in the game. You can't hear anything except my lovely raspy voice. Still recovering from that illness. But yeah, basically I bought these models on a Humble Bundle, and then so like here's the Hearse, for example, and then I realized, I need a very specific thing which wasn't in the Humble Bundle, and so I bought those as well. There were 2 things, so they successfully upsold me there. So to the generous channel joiners, thank you very much for sponsoring these projects. Basically, the first link in the description will be to a survey Google Docs form. If you're a channel joiner, please fill that out. If you're not a channel joiner, please don't fill that out, and you will get a final copy of the game if it ever launches, right? If it gets to Steam, which is what I'd like to do. It costs $100, which is about 100 quid now. Yikes! To put a game on Steam, and I'd have to also set up a company in the UK to do that, which costs £50. So thank you for supporting the project. I don't want to double dip you, right? If you're a member, so please do fill out that survey. And when it's time for beta testing and stuff, if I ever get there, you have to appreciate that there's risks involved. Then you'll get a copy. I just don't understand why I'm getting like 30 FPS on this scene, whereas this time yesterday I was getting like 90. But it's a bit higher now. Maybe it's because of all these people. Maybe if I kill some of these people, we'll sort of run them all over there. So you see, they're colliding with the pro. It's actually a fun game already. So all the systems are in the game, in except the timer. In that you can run people over, you deliver them to their final destination, you run over the next person. There's a win condition once you run everybody over. So in terms of the actual game elements, they're all there except the timer. And now it's just a case of making the rest of the game, which will obviously take way longer. I've got to add all the sound, right, and then juice, so they call it juice, right, which is basically like, so the this is skidding right now, but there's no skid marks when I hit the handbrake, and it is working, right, but the lights don't go red. There's no street lights. There are street lights, you can see some over here, and there are lights on those, but yeah, there's no like, you see the light reflects off this. There's no lights on the actual car. Making things elevated like this was actually really difficult. It wasn't particularly easy. That's to do with the way the assets are made, right? Which I can show you. I still just don't understand why that FPS is so low. I must have broken something right before I started recording. But basically, all of the assets. So that this was the main level that I drove through the city, which there it is. So I'm not sure why it's doing that, but you see that this is what the city looks like, and all of these assets have been placed. So when I bought this pack, this original level was all that was in it, and then I'm extracting things out of that level and then putting them in to make my own levels. So I've got all the props and stuff. They're all extracted, but the buildings are not extracted yet. So that will be this week's job potentially. And the second pack I bought was like a town instead of a city, and I need to import that into the game engine, which will take a long time, and and strip out the assets. But yeah, I was showing you how I actually make the levels. So the reason it's got this kind of green thing on it, that's the navigation mesh. So basically the units use the green things to navigate their way around the level. So when you scare them and they start running away from you, they need to know where they can go, right? They can't go on top of the building. Like, they can't go from here to there, right? So that's how that works. And yeah, so if I want to draw more stuff, basically I've extracted out so I can add some more pavement here. It's not on the right floor. Okay, let's do it in the not elevated section. So I could add some grass here, right? And then if we load, so I've added some grass, and then let's say we want a nice little path going through the grass there, and then we want some trees, right? So there's my tree. And so once I've imported things into the game, designing the levels is drag and drop, basically, right? I can drag and drop and duplicate items, and there's another tree, and I can rotate it round so it doesn't look exactly like the first tree, and I can add some benches, I believe. I added some benches, yes. So here's a park bench, and you got to make sure it doesn't start off in the floor, which it is. Uh, you know, get used to it, basically. So add some benches. So obviously the bench should be perpendicular to the path. So we can just make that a cheeky. I'm not sure why it's 30 degrees to be interesting. Oh, I know why. So all of these are in the wrong section anyway. They need to be in the prop section. But yeah, so this is now 90 degrees, and let's add some more. Let's add some more benches. Let's add some lights. So there should be a street light. Is that the one? A park light. Park light. Here we go. So now this is the park lights, right? So add a couple lights there, and we can add some fencing around it, that sort of thing. Um, we can make the world really dark so that you can actually see the lights. It's all good fun. Like once you've basically set up the basics, it's really fun, right? So you can see now that everything's darker. Sadly, those police cars are still coming for me. Oh yikes! So I've been wrecked. They somehow managed to push me over. Uh, so as you can see, me dying in the background there. So I need to add like once you've been pushed over, there should be something that resets your position. So I do need to add that. It's just quite rare to be pushed over because I made the gravity of the player quite high. But yeah, these cars are pretty lethal. They took a while to get to go the right way and stuff. I'm unsure how technical to get with this demonstration, but you see that as we make our way over to the yeah, so here's oh yikes, so we accidentally spawned that tree in the ground there. But that's life in it. Anyway, all those cars are accidentally falling off the edge there. So yeah, you can run over the trees. You can run over the park benches. Look at the police car. Oh, looks like you can't run over the park benches. Okay, so I need to fix that as well. Not really a good showcase. To be honest, that's a bit weird. That should be flying away there. I must have made it a static body instead of a it's a park bench. Um, no, this should be flying away. It's definitely a rigid body. Interesting. So maybe it's because I spawned them in the ground. That's always a problem. So you can see how you can build up the levels, right? Obviously, I'm not really doing a good job showing you that, but you can see it. So what is the height on that? Okay. You don't want them to spawn in the ground, right? Because it might break like that. So this guy was also in the ground. Um, they should be affected by gravity, so I think if I spawn this one in the air, it will just fall by itself, and then it will be on the top. Um, okay, so it's very broken. It's very broken. I'm really not sure what's going on with that. I'm gonna have to fix that bug. That really shouldn't be happening because as you can see, I can push the tree over. Um, that tree that's still in the ground. I can push the light. Oh, I've fallen off the edge of that. I'm really not sure why this is happening. Oh, I know why. I know why. I've spawned in the wrong item. So, yeah, I've spawned in the wrong item. So that is not the park bench I'm looking for. I'm looking for a different park bench. So yes, I need a park bench under props. So here we go. Okay, so I've now got the correct park bench. Just bear with. I just want to prove to you that I am competent and that you should believe in this project. I realize that it's probably quite boring for you. But like I said, I'm not sure how to pitch this. Like, should I go into all the fundamentals? I don't know if basically the way my channel works is that because it's all Wano people, whenever I release a video, it recommends it to my audience, which is you guys. And then if it's not Wano, you guys don't watch it. And then it doesn't recommend it to anybody else. So I can never find new audiences. I'm basically trapped in here with you. So there won't be any Godot devs watching this apart from Godot devs who play Wano, right? So but yeah, now I can run over the bench. Bam! See, I got it. I got that bench. Showed that bench who's boss. And now I'm falling off the map. So that's the game. If you're a channel member, please do fill out the survey. I would like to show you. If the game ever comes out, I would like to give you a copy of the game. But I hope that you can understand like what I'm trying to get at here. The last thing I wanted to show you was with these cars, right? So that the car code is really difficult to work out. So my original hypothesis, well, basically, the way the code is obviously very, very bad, right? But essentially, if you're a car, you can turn left or right, right? And I need to know which way you should turn to be close to the player. So I actually ended up Please tell me I've got it here. Oh, I don't. I actually ended up writing a bunch of things down and reminding myself of basic trigonometry. Essentially, you're using an a tan function, tan to the minus one, to because if you're the car, right, you have a position in 3D space, so that would be for the sake of argument, let's call it 0, 0, 0. So 0 meters across, 0 meters forwards, and 0 meters up, right? For the sake of argument. And then the enemy car might be, this is the police car, right? So we can put some blue and red lights, whoops. Oh dear. Okay, so that this is the police car. You can now tell it's a police car, and this is the player. So we'll use black because it's a hearse, and the player position might be 1, 1, 1, just for the sake of argument, right? So you need to first work out what is the angle of the car to the player, right? And for that you need trigonometry, because if this is 1 meter across, 1 meter forwards, and 1 meter up, the first thing we do is we don't really care if it's higher or lower. That doesn't really matter, so we get rid of that one. It is actually, in fact, the way it works in Godot is that this is actually the height, but just bear with me. So this is left, right, forwards, backwards, and the middle one is up, down, because it's X, Y, Z, Y is height. Anyway, so then you need to work out how do you get what's the angle from this to this. So if it's 1, 1, 1, then it's 1 meter across. We just move things around here, and we're gonna dye this lime green just because it makes it easier to see things. So it's 1 meter across and 1 meter up, right? Which makes a triangle, right? So this is the angle you want. You want this angle, and you know the opposite, right? It's all coming back to you now. Your high school trigonometry. You know the opposite, and you know the adjacent, which means SOHCAHTOA, you need tan. So tan theta, which is this angle here, is opposite, which is 1 over 1, right? For the sake of argument. It's obviously never that easy. So how you get theta, which is the angle you want, you do theta equals tan to the minus 1, also known as a tan. But in Britain we do tan to the minus 1, 1 over 1. And the brainy boffins among us will know that that is 45 degrees, which then needs to be converted to radians. So then the question is, should I, what, depending on my angle, depending on the police car's angle, right, should the police car turn left or right? So this is where it starts to get a bit zany, because I actually had to like get my notepad out and relive high school trig, right? So if the police car is actually facing this way, then what you also need is the police car's angle, and then because the police car is turned, right, so that the police car will have its own angle to the middle. So the angle I'm actually looking for here is actually well, okay, just for argument's sake, let's say it's to the horizontal. So what is this angle? What is theta 2? And then no, hang on. So you need to work out this angle, right, which is theta 2, and you need to work out this angle, which is theta 3. And the question is theta 2 smaller than theta 3? Because if theta 2 is smaller, you turn right, and if theta 3 is smaller, you turn left. And it's like when you draw it, it's obvious that theta 2 is smaller than theta 3, but getting that to work in the code actually took me quite a bit of time. I still need to go through and clear all this up, because the other problem you have, right, is that, so if you have this is getting a bit crowded now. If you have if you have a car which is turned this way, the angle I'm actually getting is the angle to the middle. So if it's turned this way, the angle of the car is actually like say 350 degrees, right? Because the middle line is 0 degrees or 360 degrees. And so if the target is 45 degrees, right? You can't just say 350 minus, right? So to get the angle that goes this way, to get theta 3 is dead easy. It's 350 minus 45. But theta 2 is 360 minus 350 plus 45, right? So the clockwise angle is this, and the anti-clockwise angle is this. But it gets even funnier because if the car is facing this way, let's say, well, okay, so this is our central point, and the target is 45 degrees, but the car angle is 20, let's say. 20 degrees. The clockwise angle, theta 2, is no longer 360 minus the angle plus, minus this angle plus that angle, right? The clockwise direction now is 45 minus 20. So, but the anti-clockwise direction is like this one going all the way around is 360 minus 45 plus hang on, what 360 minus 45 plus 20, yeah. So that the way it's calculated flips, right? This is now here and this is now here. So it's very confusing. And if you're confused by what I explained, then you agree with me, right? So game development, it can be quite difficult. It's nowhere near as difficult as doing a PhD in chemical engineering, though. It's a lot more enjoyable. So I just want to thank you again because I couldn't have got this far without you, right? I can't do 3D modeling, I can't do sound design, and I don't know the engine. So I had to buy tools to help me learn these things or to plug in these gaps for me. I think the art style is beautiful. I think it fits in with the game very well. I've got a big to-do list, right? There's lots of things that need doing, but for now, there's people you can run them over, right? There's important people with health insurance that you could run over as well. Really not sure why that FPS is so low. But bam, see we got her, right? And then now we're trying to get up that ramp there, but the policeman. Oh no, I'm stuck on the flipping. No, you're making my game look bad. Come on, come on. Okay, no, never mind. I can just go backwards. So no, that police car is now stopping me. And now I'm in the air, and my back wheels have all the traction, so I can't turn. Right. So, but you get the point. You get the point, right? You could also smack through all the obstacles. Just get out of my way, please. And you can crash over all those coffee cups there. You can hit the trees. You can hit the coffee cups into people. See, we got her with a coffee cup there. You can run people over and have a hearse, a coffin entering your hearse animation. You could avoid the police. They're really making it quite difficult for me to show off the level, which means I've programmed them well, right? And you see that the graveyard space disappears once you fill it. The idea being that as the levels get harder, right, there might be 2 separate graveyards that you have to fill, stuff like that. But this is the ramp. It's just that the way I've made the ramp is a bit hodgepodge. You can only see it from one way. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this dev diary. I've been talking for a long time now, and it'll be really interesting to see how many people make it to the end. If you want to see more like this, you got to tell me because these videos always do really badly because it's not Wano. And I'll work on that FPS issue. I'm not sure what's going on there. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget to fill out that survey if you're a channel member.